down here for almost 20 years, and we've always told people to come down and check it out because you always feel safe here. We've never ever not felt safe, and today was the first day as we left the hotel to go have breakfast and saw all the craziness going on and the violence and the smoke that we were actually terrified. And we saw the people running down the streets, running from the flames and stuff and the fire. And we ran back to the hotel, and then that's when they got the shelter in order place. And we've been here all day, and we're staying at Hotel Eloise, and there's no restaurant or bar or anything here. So we've all been here without anything all day, and the staff has been great, running and grabbing stuff and bringing us some snacks and some water and stuff. But it's been pretty scary, as you can see from the videos and pictures I shared. That you blocks away is where all of it's happening, and all the oxos they burnt down all of the little oxos. So there's been little fires and stuff all over the city around us where it's normally fun and nice and people walking around and all the little local restaurants and all the locals being locked up and hidden with us too. And there's a few homeless people that were brought into this hotel they allowed in so that they had some place to go too. So it's been quite surreal, knowing this warm, wonderful place that we come to visit a couple times a year is in lockdown and just terrifying for all the people. We've been coming down here for almost
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, infinite glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash, the honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule and teach us peace, safety, and citation to the hopeful elect that's pushing his word true and necessary throughout the four corners of the earth. And as you can see what's going on in Mexico, it says terrifying tourists describes chaos in Mexico. In this TikTok video, headline says, American tourist Jim Beck told CNN that the violence and chaos outside his hotel in Porto Bellator was terrifying as the Mexican military clashed with crime groups, So it's basically going down in Mexico, man, And these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Let's get that. Let's get the scriptures. First, go to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15. In verse 14, it reads, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Verse 15, For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Verse 16, For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So in essence, man, these a lot of these drakes out there in Mexico, man, basically they're gonna get down, man. They're not gonna regard what the government says. They're not gonna regard what anybody says. They're gonna reap havoc. Because basically the cartel, that their leader, this guy, got put to death, man. And basically they're not gonna let that. Basically, Slovakia, they're not gonna let that out of their sight, man. So they're gonna reap havoc. They're gonna reap havoc in Babylon the Great, man. Not just in Babylon the Great, but what's going on out there in Mexico, man. So it's about to get down, But how much more those people in Iran when President DJ Trump, Donald Trump, he killed their leader. I think back in 2021 or something like that. Don't think for one certain that they forgot about that as well. So all these people, they're all gonna point their fingers at America, Babylon the Great. And they're gonna get the revenge, man. It says, For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. That's right, man. Plain as day. Let's go down a little bit. Matter of fact, let's go to 16. This is book 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse. Let's see. Verse 14, and it reads, Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Verse 15, the fire is kindled, and it shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. You know? Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returning not backward, even so the plagues that should be sent upon earth shall not return again. Verse 17, woe's me, who would deliver me in those days? You know, our forefather Ezra, you know, in those times he was telling the Lord, well, who will be me? Woe's me, who would deliver me in those days? Who's going to deliver me in the days of trouble, man? Who's going to deliver me in those days? Because he knew that he'll come back on the earth. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of sorrows, man. You know, great, you know, sorrows. You know, that Ishmaelite, you know, getting put to death, man. Ultimately, it was the Lord who did it, because, you know, the scripture says that no innocent, what's the name? What's that scripture? I think Job, where it says, no one perishes being innocent. River's paraphrasing, you know. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Perish being innocent. This is the book of Job, chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, man? You know? So that dude was wicked, man. You know? He was a wicked man. You know, so the Lord put him to death. You know? Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's going to go for all those people, man. All those wicked Jakes and Israelites, you know? You know? All the wickedness that they sowed is going to be reaped, man. So no one perished being innocent. Just to prove that point, let's go back to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. Let's go back. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils will come? That's right, man. So what are you going to do when these evils will come? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguishes are set as scourges for amendment. That's right. Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. That's right, you know. So these are the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death. You know, and more than likely a lot of people are being put to death out there, you know, in Mexico, you know. Not just Mexico, but it's going to happen throughout the four corners of the earth, man, you know. The Lord is going to bring more destruction, man. This is not the end all be all, you know. Going to be more calamities, there's going to be more woes, there's going to be more catastrophes coming upon this earth, man. Let's get the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12, and it reads, or verse 11. And I'll punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I'll cause the arrogant sluggish. Let me read from the start. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. You know, so the Lord's going to punish the wicked for their evil, man. You know, the wicked of our people, man. Not just the wicked of our people, but Esau, Edom, ruling this world in its entirety. Scripture says, Job 9, verse 24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You know, so he's going to punish the wicked, man. You know, he's going to punish this society, man. You know, the dreadful day of the Lord is near, man. That's why it behooves a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to come back to Yahweh Shema Shai while he may be found, you know. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Sirach. Book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7. And it reads, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem outside, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem outside come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. That's right, man. Make no tarrying. Tarrying means don't wait. That's what tarrying means. Tarrying means don't wait, you know. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, you know. And a lot of those Israelites are going to be cut off. A lot of Israelites are going to wait to the last moment, man. But it's going to be too late because the Lord's going to take the prophets off the scene. You know, the Lord's going to take the prophets off the scene. And it's going to be nothing but catastrophe, you know. It's going to roam around Babylon the Great America. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem outside, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem outside come forth, and in that security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. That's right. So it's going to go down, man. You know, don't wait until the last moment. You know. But let's get the book of Isaiah. Let's see, Isaiah 55 verse 6. Another scripture to line up with Sirach chapter 5. To line up with Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 7. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 6. Seek ye the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem outside while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. That's right. And how are you to seek Yahweh Ba'ashem outside? Repenting, man. Acknowledges the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem outside in his entirety. You know. Verse 7. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him into our power, for he will abundantly pardon. So you got to seek Yahweh Ba'ashem outside while he may be found, and call you upon him while he is near. You know? And that's the root of it, man. That's the root of it. The whole root of it is to seek Yahweh Ba'ashem outside while he may be found while he is near. And how are you to find it but Yahweh Ba'ashem outside? Through his prophets, man. You know? Not the Christian churches, man. Because Christian churches, they don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem outside. Matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 3 and 5. Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 15, and it reads, Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 15, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So you come back to Yahweh Ba'ashem outside as you coming to his prophets, because Yahweh Ba'ashem outside is not going to come and have a one-on-one conversation. That's not how it works. The Lord speaks through his prophets, you know. And we have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem outside, you know, to give you the blueprint to receive everlasting salvation and to receive protection from Yahweh Ba'ashem outside that's going to come forth, you know. But let's get another scripture. This is the book of Amos chapter 7 verse 8. Or Amos chapter 8 and verse 9. Matter of fact, let's get let's get the book of Habakkuk chapter 3. Or Habakkuk chapter book of Habakkuk, or the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1, and it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set upon me the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So in essence, man, the Lord said, answer me and write the vision, make it plain upon tables. So, you know, these certain prophecies going on is plain upon tables, you know. It's in the scriptures. Scripture says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, you know. Yahweh said he comes in the volume of the book. You know, the volume of the book is the scriptures, you know. Verse 3. Verse 3 again. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come, it will not tarry. So these certain prophecies, they're going to come forth, man, And we have the blueprint. The blueprint will be the scriptures, Because Zechariah chapter 8, let's get another one. Book of Isaiah chapter 33. Book of Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6, and it reads, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time, and in strength and salvation, the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is his treasure." So the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to protect you in these times to come. All the catastrophes that happen, all the dangers that's coming, that's why you got to seek Yahweh Shemel Shai while he may be found, Let's get this. This is the book of let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 50. Psalms chapter 50, verse 15. "And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me." So you got to call on Yahweh Shemel Shai while he may be found, Read it again. "And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me." So in the times, you got to call on the true names, not Jesus Christ, not Yeshua, not Yehoshua. You got to call on the true names. This is Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning exists. Bahashem means coming in the name of Yahushai, meaning he delivers. Because there's going to come a time when you're going to need those names, Because we're soon across. We're in the times of Jacob's trouble, but Jacob's trouble is going to go full-blown real soon. That's why it behooves a lot of these so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and those who have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth to seek Yahweh Shemel Shai while he may be found. Because there's going to come a time when the prophets, are going to be taken off the scene. When the Lord basically is going to close up shop, But that's pretty much it. I am not going to make this a long-winded lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, infinite glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.